A law gets passed to ban one of the biggest apps on the planet, all in the name of national security. But what if that's not the real story? What if it's not about safety at all? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the whole TikTok ban. Let's get into it. The story they want you to believe is, frankly, pretty terrifying. It kicks off with this really stark warning from the FBI director himself. He lays it out plain and simple. TikTok is a national security threat. The big fear? That Beijing could just snap its fingers and get the data of 170 million Americans, or even worse, use that all-powerful algorithm as a propaganda fire hose. I mean, it's a powerful argument, right? It sounds serious enough to pass a law saying sell your company or get banned. But you gotta ask, is that the whole story? Or is national security just the perfect sales pitch for something else entirely? To really get what's going on, you have to start with the story they sold to everyone, the public-facing argument. And here it is, the official case. It all really hangs on this one Chinese law from 2017 that could, in theory, force TikTok's parent company ByteDance to hand over user data. Lawmakers painted this incredibly grim picture of an app just waiting to be turned against us. And yeah, these concerns have been bubbling up since 2020, so it sounds super urgent, doesn't it? Like a threat that needs to be dealt with right now. But this is where it gets interesting. Because when you stop listening to the speeches and start looking at the actual timeline, the whole official story starts to unravel. You find this massive plot hole. And that's the big question, isn't it? If TikTok is this ticking time bomb, this huge risk to the country, then why on earth does the government keep hitting the snooze button on its own deadline? Just look at this timeline. It says it all. After all the drama to get this law passed, the big deadline comes, and what happens? Nothing. Instead of a ban, we get promises that it won't be enforced, then a 75-day delay, then another one, and another. This urgent crisis is now kicked down the road to at least January 2026. That doesn't feel like a response to a threat. It feels more like a slow, deliberate squeeze play. So why all the delays? Well, like always, it helps to follow the money. And this number, $14 billion, that's roughly what TikTok's US business is worth. That's a huge prize. And believe me, some very, very powerful people have had their eyes on it for a while. So you have to understand who really benefits from all this pressure. If it's not just about keeping us safe, then what is it really about? Let's take a look at who stands to get rich if TikTok gets crippled or sold off for cheap. Before all the political noise, there was a corporate war going on. TikTok's growth was just insane. It had 1 billion users way faster than giants like Instagram or YouTube ever did. It was beating the old guard of Silicon Valley at their own game. And they were, let's just say, not happy about it. And this just shows you how much it was costing them. These big established platforms just couldn't beat TikTok head-to-head. Meta dropped over $100 million on its clone, Reels, just trying to get creators to use it. Snapchat spent $250 million. They were burning through cash trying to catch up. So you have to wonder, if you can't beat them, maybe you can get the government to ban them for you. And this fight didn't stay in the marketplace. Oh no, it went straight to Washington. We saw reports that Meta hired a political firm just to plant negative stories about TikTok in the news. At the same time, you had Silicon Valley bigwigs meeting with lawmakers, trying to build this so-called anti-China alliance. Suddenly, the competition wasn't about who had the best app, it was about who had the best lobbyists. Okay, so let's get to the deal itself. Let's see how all this political heat was basically designed to force one very specific outcome: a sale on very friendly terms to American companies. Make no mistake, this is not some friendly merger. This is a hostile takeover. But it's got a crazy twist. Instead of battling it out with shareholders, the buyers are using the United States government as their muscle. The threat of a ban is the weapon they're using to force ByteDance to the table, like it or not. So, who's in line to buy? Well, the proposed deal would put the American tech company Oracle, plus a few big investment firms, in a position to grab huge chunks of the company. They, along with other US investors, would end up with majority control of this new American version of TikTok. But check this out. This is the part where the whole national security argument just completely falls flat on its face. ByteDance, the company that's supposedly the big threat, they're not gone. In this deal, they'd keep almost 20% of the company and, get this, half of the profits. If your goal was to cut ties with China, this deal makes 0 sense. But if your goal is to let American companies take control of a huge competitor, well, then it makes perfect sense. So when you put all the pieces together, the fake urgency, the endless delays, the behind-the-scenes lobbying from rivals, and the weird structure of the final deal, a totally different story starts to take shape. And here it is, the fatal flaw in the whole official story. After all these years of accusations, all the hearings, all the shouting, there is still no public evidence that TikTok has ever, not once, shared US user data with the Chinese government. The entire justification for the ban is based on something that could happen, not something that has happened. Let's call it what it is. The delays are about driving down the price to force a cheap sale. The political pressure was fanned into a wildfire by competitors who couldn't win on a level playing field. This isn't about protecting America. It's a state-sponsored corporate shakedown, plain and simple. And this whole mess leaves us with a really big, unsettling question for the future. In this new digital Cold War, who actually gets to write the rules? Who decides which apps we're allowed to use? Is it about what's best for users, or what's best for a handful of domestic corporations? Because as this plays out, it's pretty clear the line between fair competition and raw political power is getting really, really blurred.